I'm Mark.
And I'm Josh.
And this is Alter Ego Comics TV for the week of April 27th, 2016. Free Comic Book Day is right around the corner. That's why we're decked out in our Free Comic Book Day t-shirts. That and I have to go speak at a press conference in about 45 minutes to talk about Free Comic Book Day, so gotta represent. May 7th, hit up your local comic shop, or come see us, as one of our viewers from Pennsylvania is planning on doing, coming to visit us here at Alter Ego Comics. So, Rudy, can't wait to meet you. Thanks for making the trek with the family to Alter Ego Comics. The rest of you, do better. No. Just kidding. No, that's awesome. Looking forward to it. It's going to be an awesome day. Maybe we'll talk a little bit more at the end of the episode. So this week, there were not a lot of new number one issues to really trumpet, but it was really a week of strong continuing series. Books that we've recommended before, a series that we really like, continue to be awesome. So we're kind of going to do a lightning round in a way, which we haven't done in a while, where we're going to talk about lots of different books and why we like them. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. That sound about right? For me, Old Man Logan is the Wolverine book that I want to be reading these days. This is written by Jeff Lemire with artwork by Andrea Sorrentino. This is issue number 5. It's the beginning of a new storyline, and I do like that Marvel has right on the cover, all new story, Border Town starts now. So they're going out of their way to tell new readers and maybe people that were hesitant about jumping into the Old Man Logan pond that this is a jumping on point. This creative team is doing a bang-up job. We're 5 issues in. Thankfully, Sorrentino is continuing as the artist on the series. Usually when you get to the end of a story arc, the new story arc sometimes has a new artist. And the book is really an equal parts art and story. I mean, that sounds stupid to even say that, but I don't think I would enjoy this book as much as I do if Sorrentino wasn't doing the artwork. I just think it's awesome. So Logan takes a leave of absence from the Extraordinary X-Men to kind of explore part of his past, and he realizes that the timeline he's in is not his timeline, but he's trying to, I guess, explore, as I said, part of his past. If you read the first story arc, you know that his original intention was to stop what happened to him from happening by taking out certain players in the past. Well, that turns out that that's not the case, so he's trying to make the best of the situation. Good stuff. Doesn't sound all that intriguing now that I listen to what I've said, but it's so good. It was the first thing I read last night. Yeah. Totally dug it.
Got all new Wolverine, still written by Tom Taylor with art by Marcio Takara, and this is also the start of a new storyline, although it's not heralded on the cover. What's heralded on the cover is a guest appearance by the unbeatable Squirrel Girl. I'm just saying, could we have gotten the same artist to draw the little Squirrel Girl blurb as...
It stands out more.
Yeah, but it's weird and disjointed, and I don't like it. However, I did like the issue. Squirrel Girl is really well written by Taylor. Just the right amount of ridiculousness to make the book really fun. But there's also a lot of emotional resonance in this, setting up parallels between X-23's life and her connections to Logan with the new clone that she now has to find some place in the world for. And it was just super awesome.
Star Wars continues to be incredible. Issue number 18, written by Jason Aaron, artwork by Leinil Francis Yu. This continues the Rebel Jail storyline. Part 3, Princess Leia and Sana Solo are kind of teaming up with Dr. Aphra, Vader's sidekick, and they're in prison, and they're trying to bust out. And then the kind of parallel story is Han and Luke having wacky hijinks. So
Han and Luke play Firefly.
Star Wars continues to be amazing. One of the best books every month.
Out this week we've got Star-Lord number 6, written by Sam Humphries with art by Javier Garron. And Star-Lord started out as a retelling or a modern telling of the Star-Lord origin, but starting with this issue, it is back in the present and is back to dealing with the current Star-Lord, specifically dealing with his breakup with Kitty Pryde. And it's really good. Yeah, so if you didn't like the baby Star-Lord story, you might like this one now that it's back with sort of the classic lineup and Rocket and all the other people are cameoing, and it's more of a modern Star-Lord story now.
Daredevil number 6 this week. This is also the beginning of a new storyline, and again, Marvel has a blurb on the front to let you know. continuing to be written by Charles Soule, but this time we get artwork by... Come on now. Matteo Buffagni. Buffagni? I think that's his name. Artwork is excellent. Really, really dug it. And Elektra is front and center on the covers, so Elektra plays a big part in this. If you're enjoying the Netflix series, especially season 2, which features Elektra prominently, you should absolutely check this out. And there is kind of a major revelation on the last page of this book, so don't flip to the end. Also, lots of talking about, lots of inner monologue from Matt Murdock talking about talking about the fact that his secret identity is safe again and no one remembers it.
Right.
But no explanation of why no one remembers it.
Right, and now we know that extends to people who should, like
right.
Elektra, who knows both Matt and Daredevil.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to spoil a whole lot of it, but yeah, there are lots of dancing around. Why don't people know that Matt is Daredevil anymore? So
Doctor Strange did it.
I hope that Soul enlightens us and tells us at some point. Otherwise, stop talking about it.
Issue 2 of an International Iron Man by Brian Michael Bendis with art by frequent collaborator Alex Maleev. This is the story, it's a two-chunk story about Tony going to look for his father, but so far mostly what we're getting is about a relationship from his past, a girl in college, and it's really, really good. The emotional character-building stuff, setting up the things that happen to this young Tony Stark, and the interesting world and the people manipulating him, his relationship with his father, is just really, really fun.
Justice League number 49 out this week by Jeff Johns and Jason Fabok. This is Darkseid War Part 9. One more part to go for those of you keeping track at home. And it continues to be great. Justice League, one of the best books that DC is publishing month in and month out.
Avengers Standoff, Pleasant Hill, Omega is out. This is the end of the standoff, or most of the end. There's still a few wrapping up pieces in some of the other books, but the primary end of the standoff crossover, where cosmic cubes are turned into people, and the Wreckers turn into an ice cream maker, and Captain America's turned into a young man again.
If you want to see Kraven the Hunter at a tea party wearing a birthday hat, this is the book you'll find that in this week.
Brilliant, I say. And we also see a longtime Marvel character we have not seen in a while, and the passing of a legacy.
Saga issue 36 out this week. This is the last part of a story arc. Actually, he mentions in the back what it is, but I don't remember. Not the story arc, but...
Volume 6? Volume 7?
It's in the letters pages. Come on, bear with me.
36 divided by 6
So
is
ends
6.
Book 2, Volume 6, Chapter 36. So this is the end of Volume 6 for those of you who read and trade. And again, we get a major revelation on the last page, as we tend to get from Vaughn... written by Brian K. Vaughan, artwork by Fiona Staples, as is always the case. Saga continues to be awesome. Month in, month out. Excellent.
We've got a new thing going on called A Year of Marvels. It's a mini-series. It's sort of like Batman The Long Halloween, where but instead each story is about a different character and on a different holiday. So we've got a Spider-Man Valentine's Day story and a Ant-Man Spring Break story, and they're both very good. Neither of them are written by the normal people. Spider-Man is written by Ryan North, who you may remember from Dinosaur Comics and Adventure Time and Squirrel Girl. Yeah. With art by Danilo Beyruth, and then the other story is Annie Chu. Is it Annie? Amy Chu and Ryan Brown.
Annie Wu and Amy Chu.
Yep.
No relation.
And Ryan Brown. Well, it's not him. But
Ryan
this
Reynolds?
is what? Yes.
Did I say Ryan Reynolds?
What this book did for me, other than be fun, which is what I wanted, is it made me realize that Patrick Stewart should play the Vulture in the new Spider-Man movies. That is all.
I'm down with that. He's getting up there.
Yeah, he looks pretty old.
I'm going to go off script and mention a book I wasn't planning on mentioning, but Batman 51 this week is the last issue by the New 52 creative team of Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo. 52, I believe 52 is by Tinian, but I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, I apologize in advance, but I'm pretty sure that this is Scott Snyder's last issue.
Certainly felt like a last issue.
Writing writing his Batman epic with artwork again by Greg Capullo. So if you're keeping score at home or you want to check out, as I did, I haven't read Batman for several issues, but I did jump back in with this one because I knew it was the last one, and it's good. It's I'm trying to describe it.
It's sort of like an epilogue.
Yeah, it is. It feels like an epilogue. You get some mentions, some closure on some stuff that's been going on recently in Batman, but it's more of a how Batman and Gotham are intertwined. And when you read it, you'll understand what I'm talking about. I don't want to give too much away.
Out this week, we've also got from IDW Strawberry Shortcake #1.
Josh's pick of the week.
Pick of the week, written by Georgia Ball, art by Amy Meberson, with colors by Fernando Panici, and letters by Robbie Robbins. Go Robbie Robbins, I respect your name.
Tweet, tweet. Yes, if you're a fan of Strawberry Shortcake, Huckleberry Pie, Blueberry Muffin, all 3 inches high. That was the jingle from the TV commercial in the 80s. Because I remember it very well. So if you're a Strawberry Shortcake fan, if you have someone in your family that's somehow knows what Strawberry Shortcake is today.
Is she coming back? Is there a show?
I think so. I think they did some action figures and stuff not too long ago. Speaking of old stuff coming back, IDW has a twofer this week. We get Micronauts #1. This is written by Cullen Bunn with artwork by several people, but primarily by David Baldion. And Micronauts was a toy line, for those of you that are not as old as I am, that came out in 1976 when I was 3. And was fairly popular. Actually, Marvel had the license to do Micronauts comics back in the 70s.
X-Men Micronauts and dollar boxes
everywhere. Oh, that's
everywhere.
right. X-Men Micronauts. There was a crossover. And, there were lots of feels as I read this. I remember having the toys of several of these characters, especially the Baron, who had magnetic components. His arms and legs and head were detachable, and they were connected with magnets, and I would put the head where his arm was supposed to go or where his leg was supposed to go. I was young. I didn't know any better. I needed the money. So if you're a fan of Micronauts, know that Cullen Bunn is a huge Micronauts fan, so he will do no wrong with this if you're a fan of the Micronauts. And more interesting, and I didn't intend to get in a discussion about this until I was thinking about it earlier today, IDW now has ROM Space Knight, Micronauts, as well as G.I. Joe and Transformers, and these are all Hasbro properties. So they're developing a shared film universe, much like the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And there was an announcement last week, which you may have seen.
I don't think Transformers is part of the shared part, though, is it?
I think it is.
Okay.
Yep. Because the name of the brain trust or the film division is Allspark. So I would have to say that's probably Transformers related. So they've put together a brain trust of writers to act as the writers' room, or the kind of like the Marvel brain trust, which was Bendis and Quesada and Matt Fraction and several other folks when the Marvel movies first got started. The interesting thing to me were 2 people that were on the list: Brian K. Vaughan of Saga and Awesomeness fame, and Michael Chabon.
Cavalier
Clay. What's the Tobey Maguire movie that you like?
Wonder Boys.
Wonder Boys.
Yeah.
So 2 very highly respected writers are working on a film of Micronauts and ROM Space Knight. So I don't know what's going on with that.
Also out this week, last for me, we've got Doctor Strange. This is the second part of the Last Days of Magic. And it is awesome. There's nothing I love more in a story than someone who should not be able to fight back, standing up against people who he has no chance against. Also, in the same kind of vein, we've also got a Doctor Strange Last Days of Magic one-shot this week, written by all sorts of people. Basically, the three books involved in Last Days of Magic are Doctor Strange, Scarlet Witch, and Deadpool. Because it's Deadpool. Because his wife is tied into the magic.
Oh, that's right.
And each of those people writes part of the stories in here. So we've got stories by Jason Aaron, by Jerry Dugan, and by James Robinson. Not Deadpool, Doctor Strange, and Wonder Woman. Scarlet Witch. Doing good. Doctor Strange, Last Days of Magic, on the shelf.
And just like we got some great stuff from the vaults over at DC Comics last week with the Batman Elseworlds graphic novel or trade paperback, this week we get the DC Comics Dark Horse Comics Aliens trade paperback, which should be on everyone's must-buy list. You get Batman vs. Aliens 1 and 2, not issue 1 and 2, but there were 2 series. There was Batman vs. Aliens Volume 1, and then there was a Volume 2. And then Superman and Batman versus Aliens and Predator and Wildcats Aliens. The biggest selling point to this for me is the Batman vs. Aliens Volume 1, written by Ron Mars, who we all love, but artwork by Bernie Wrightson. So,
cool.
Awesome Bernie Wrightson. These are actually the pages. We have a customer that used to work at Dark Horse in the 80s, and he brought in some photocopied page. I shouldn't even say this. I'm gonna get him in trouble.
They're copies. They're not original.
Copies of original art from the Batman Alien series that Bernie Wrightson did, and I have them in my office here. They're just amazing. So you get to see that in full color in here. Thanks, Monty. Ding. Awesome.
Now he's in trouble.
Yeah.
This made me think of DC Comics, and Wildcats is still in here, but no mention of really any Wildstorm people in the rebooted universe.
There's a reason for that.
I'm okay with it. I'm just saying.
So if you're looking for crazy mashup stories, Batman versus Alien, I mean, come on. It's just so ridiculous. It's fun and awesome, so you have to check it out. Tons of stuff, as you can see. We went over a boatload of it. You can't go wrong. Go out and get some new comics this week. And then hit your local comic shop Saturday, May 7th for Free Comic Book Day. All of our details for the event can be found on our Facebook page, which Josh will put into the notes below. But it's facebook.com/alteregomaniacs. Characters in costume, touch a truck, over 25 free comics to choose from, face painting, $1 comic sale.
You get extra comics if you're in costume.
You do. You get 2 extra comics if you're dressed in costume here. So wear a costume. That's not just a t-shirt. You can't put a paper bag over your head and cut eye holes in it. Doesn't count. Unless you go with the Fantastic Four uniform that Spider-Man wore, that Peter Parker wore. That's it. Whew, I'm out of breath. Thanks for watching. If you liked it, give us a thumbs up. We'll see you next time.
Bombastic Bagman. That was his name.
Bombastic. Mr. Bombastic.